gnomish sunglasses were definitely a potential solution that I was thinking about as well. So Turnip saying fashion is part of MMOs for sure, but any system which allows characters to look however they want, irrespective of what they actually have or have on, is a bit immersion breaking to me. I respect differing opinions here, but for this type of MMO, I think it's important. Yeah, and so we don't, again, we'll handle the variability of aesthetics for certain items in game through some mechanism and have it be rooted as much in the world and in the game as possible. But as Turnip's saying, we will allow some disabling of showing stuff just so that it's not it's not a misrepresentation of what you have. It's just electing to not show it. Gnomish glasses that tint screen color in first person. I love that idea. Is that more of a late game backpack you're showing now? This one's pretty sophisticated, right? And we'll have to talk about representing stuff that's not actually there. We've got a scroll on here, and we've got a shovel. We got a bedroll, and so we'll have to talk about that as far as should we be showing that type of stuff? Is there a way to maybe have certain contents of your backpack show? Is that going too far? So look at this. We got a gnome at the bar. It's looking like a damn game. Well, player name tags stay the same color as NPC name tags. I'm assuming so, Belfaster. Why is there? Do you have a preference? I don't know. What's your preference, Pat? Because for me, I like the idea that everything just kind of looks the same. Because then it'll make them feel a little bit more invisible. Trying to envision 100 people at this bar. I mean, this is hopefully what the bar looks like. So this will be the bar. That just sounds horrible. Imagine a quest telling you to find an NPC at the bar without an indicator over their name. If the players also have same color nameplates, it would be a nightmare. Yes. But for some reason, when you describe it like that, it sounds fun to me. Yeah, there's the idea that you need to reveal some names, NPC names too. So that was an idea we've been discussing for like a year now. We'll have to lock that down and actually see how we want to approach implementation. Because there was an idea that you might basically... behind the bar? Okay. Oh, here comes. So it would be a barkeep, and then when you hail a barkeep, you could basically, you could either ask them their name, or if somebody like sent you to the barkeep in this end, when they send you to the barkeep, instead of a barkeep, you'll now know their name because they're sending you to Billy Barkeep. And so things would go from being generic to, as you interact with more and more of the game, you start to learn their names and stuff. So we'll have to see if that actually makes it in, because it's one of those ideas we've discussed for like a year now. And there's definitely some stuff that would need to be changed and some things to consider before it comes to fruition. But I still kind of like the idea, just based off this idea that you're becoming more familiar with the name. Maybe after a while you learn the barkeep's name, the barkeep learns yours and tells you you've had enough. Yeah. And takes the keys to your horse. Or more than two? Yeah, potentially. I'm not actively thinking through the cases. Well, it would be maybe, so Whispering Wallace up there would be, you know, a citizen or whatever. And then you learn that his name's actually, whatever, Wallace McGee. And then you learn that, but some people call him Whispering Wallace. So that would be 3 names. Darget said, I really like the idea of multiple aliases. There's tons of cool stuff you could do with that in Questgating. Like perhaps you find out the barkeep is Mike Mackin, and that later allows you to access some quests from him. Later you find out he's actually Lord Dreadful, the head of a doomsday cult that gives epic level quests or something. I mean, it just seemed like a cooler way to potentially give you a little bit of insight on like an NPC that you're looking for a quest or whatever. Because again, the example would be, say we were talking to somebody across town who is like, go speak with Barkeep Milligan or whatever his name is, and if you'd come through here before and not interacted with the barkeep, didn't get his name, because that was one of those things that I would always do in Ultima, right? When you were playing Ultima, you'd walk up and there was no name tag, and so you go up to an NPC, you don't know who the hell it is. Like back in the day, the old Ultimas, like Ultima 2, 3, etc. And so one of the things you would ask is like, what's your name? But yeah, so this idea of when they send you over here to talk to Barkeep Milligan, if you haven't interacted with him before, then you would see, because what's implied is whoever you were talking to about the barkeep gave you enough information that you know. Can NPC display different names for different players at the same time? Yeah, because that'll all just be client side. Great way to encourage lore buffs to go around and speak to everyone. Exactly. Think it could help prevent the need to spawn different instances of the same mob to receive a quest. Instead, you define your relationship with the mob. Dargeth, that's a good point as well. Belfaster said, I'm convinced all players / NPC names should look the same. Maybe EQ didn't go far enough and it's a slippery slope to targeting circles, which I'm not a big fan of. I like there to be room for players to make mistakes if they're not paying attention. And it just, so my thought was it should just feel, when you see, come in here for the first time and there's players standing here and there's Whispering Wallace, my assumption is you're going to know, or a barkeep or whatever, you know that that's an NPC and it's not a player. But we're treating them the same, and we're reinforcing the idea that you should treat them the same, because you're interacting with them through your chat box. Hello, fellow NPCs, right? And so those interactions there, it's all kind of, so the more we can kind of keep consistent sort of interaction metaphors in place, then, the better.